Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to this week's energy forecast. I have been guided, inspired to move through this forecast a little bit differently in the sense that instead of just doing a general message, I've been guided to go through the entire physical body. So the physical body has different energy centers, also known as chakras. So I'm going to go through each chakra for you, for me, this week and provide guidance in each area. So I'm truly not sure why I'm being guided to do it this way, but when I'm guided to do something, I usually just have to trust it and do it, and I will see the answer, the reason why later. So I will let you know where I am in your body. If you're watching this, you're receiving the healing that is coming through for this video today. So it doesn't matter how long ago this was, if you're tuning into this, you are receiving healing. So you can be driving, you can be doing really anything at all. If you happen to be in a comfortable space, I do suggest you lying flat. I just got that we all need a little healing, a little bit of grounding, a little bit of clarity and cleansing. So this is part of the reason why I'm actually doing like a full healing and going to be moving through all the different energy centers for us all tonight. So like I said, find a comfortable space to be in. And as I move through the different energy centers through the chakras, it's a journey. So thinking about where you are in this very moment and where you hope to be by the end of the time of this video. When this is through, where do you want to be? What emotional state would you like to arrive at? And even if you don't get there, just noticing what you feel you need or where you would like to be if you are not there. So with that being said, I'm going to start at your feet. When I'm working on the feet, I'm actually tuned into the root chakra, and the root chakra is at the base of your tailbone. And when I'm working on someone in person, I usually don't go to the tailbone, really for comfort reasons. I've noticed a lot of people like tense up, and I want to provide a sacred, safe feeling space. So if there's any tension at all, though I bring up some tough emotional stuff a lot, I like the physical body, probably because my own history, but I want the physical body to feel at rest. So when I'm working on the root chakra, I actually go down to the feet. And I'm holding my hands like this, so it's like I'm cupping the bottom of your feet. So if you're tuning into this and feel like really going through this process, I'd invite you to rest your eyes now. And wherever I say I am in the body, just bring your attention there. So starting at the feet, the message that I'm receiving here is to be sure that your nest, your home environment, is an energetic match to who you are right now. And what I mean by energetic match, what I mean is if you feel like you've been going through a transformation and you're needing some new, lighter energy, or you've been going through a transformation and there's a lot of old stuff around you, old papers, old things, just kind of stagnant objects in your home that you've been meaning to get to, but you just haven't. Tend to those things so that you feel as though your environment is a really nice reflection of what's going on inside of you. with a transformation, things can also get a little bit messy. So if that looks like a bit of a messy space, that's cool too. I am not encouraging one way or the other that it's clean or it's, minimalistic or anything at all. Just be sure that how you feel matches the environment. And if there's a mismatch, how can I adjust and I'm looking around because I'm in my space. How can I adjust my surroundings to match my energy? To take it a step further, if you feel ready to, would be how do I create the environment that feels like where I'm heading? So, for example, I am doing my first Instagram live after this, and I have been wanting to rearrange my space, but not really knowing what I wanted to do with it. And then yesterday I got the inspiration, was like, maybe I'll just move this here, maybe I'll move that. And so I started moving things around, and it feels fresh and it feels new. And what I'm inviting in tonight is, again, something new, which is doing a live. So you see, like, it doesn't always have to be the emotional shift and then the space. It can be the space and then the emotional shift. So whatever way really resonates with you, just be sure that your nest feels supportive of you right now, or of that future self that you can feel yourself really heading towards. And in terms of the physical body, there is a heavy energy, which is really wonderful because it's very grounding and helping you, like I say, grounded. And it's like I kind of sit back in my seat, and when you're grounded, you see things a little bit more clearly. There is this heaviness to feeling grounded, to being kind of like heavy in your body. And there's always, the flip side to the coin. And the flip side to this coin is this grounded, heavy energy is allowing you to survey the area of your lives, survey the areas of your life that need to be looked at a little bit more objectively. So use the heaviness. In the East Coast, where I am located, it is cold, and a lot of people get that kind of itch for spring pretty early, but I trust Mother Nature. I trust that these seasons are reflective of what we're needing as well. So this time to come inward, be really introverted and tend to the inner workings, not necessarily the outer physical form, which, right, everything in balance. I'm not saying don't take care of your body, but know that heaviness is like, maybe you're not meant to pick up running right now. Maybe just slow walks outside. Really listening to your body, using whatever space your body's in to help support you. Interesting. So another thing I'm seeing with the physical body is to make sure you're clean. So obviously with COVID, we're washing our hands a lot more now and, keeping our distance. But what I mean by clean, it's not necessarily like germ clean. What I feel is like emotionally clean. So if you've had a particularly rough day at work or with your kids or family or just yourself, energetically, it is really helpful to take a shower and rinse yourself of the day. And does that make you feel all better? Not necessarily, but I'm seeing a need for more emotional hygiene, tending to your emotions, not letting them kind of collect dirt and dust, but rather, that's not really feeling good. How can I kind of sweep that up? And not necessarily to make it better, but to just notice that it's collecting some dirt, and I think it needs some tending to. But again, when you've had a tough day and you're not really wanting to look at your stuff, just taking a nice shower, hot or cold, and rinsing yourself of the day, really being intentional because intention is really half the battle for all of things. Okay. So now I'm gonna move up into the hip space, which the lower abdomen is called the sacral chakra. So if I was with you, I would have both my hands cupped on either side of your hips, more towards the outside. And if you feel like it, you can kind of work along with me. I do believe we underuse our own touch, and just the act of, you know, like doing just really simple things brings great soothing to ourselves. I know, like, sometimes I'll rub my hands together when I'm nervous, or, you know, it's a really beautiful thing that we, well, if you do have hands, if you're fortunate to have hands, you can provide a gentle touch to yourself. So hands on the hips if you're joining. Yeah, so the hips, right? The area of the body that carries us forward is feeling a bit tight. And the vision that I was seeing is like mountain after mountain after mountain up ahead. It's like no matter what way I go, no matter how I slice it, it appears there is a mountain ahead of me. Whether I confront it, I don't confront it, I run away from it. No matter what choice I make, there is a large mountainscape ahead of me. And the fact that I'm doing this for many different people all over the place speaks to how, as a collective, we are going through a major shift. The mountains up ahead, they're right, yes, totally feel that. I feel that for myself. I see it in everybody that I know. So if we can acknowledge that we're not alone in this, and for whatever reason that's important, to acknowledge that, similar to the pandemic, everybody was impacted by it. Everybody is still impacted by it. There's something powerful when we're all going through something on some level. And of course, there's always different grades of it, but just like a mountain would be really challenging for someone and really simple for another. I personally hate climbing mountains, which is strange because I love outdoors, but just not my jam. So it's really hard for me to climb a mountain. So this sensation of like, oh, no matter what way I slice my life, there are mountains left and right. Yes. My fiance, he's a martial artist, and he follows a guy, and I wish I knew his name right now, but he talks about how when we accept that something is not supposed to be easy, like when we totally own this is supposed to be hard, for whatever reason, it gets a heck of a lot easier. So let me remind you that being a human being is hard. That's, in my 31 years of life, I have discovered being a human is hard. And hard things are worth doing because you realize the load you can bear and how strong you are. So there is something to life being hard, you know? Like me doing that Instagram live later, like that's hard for me. Why? Many different reasons, but it's hard for me. Showing up on camera like this, it's hard for me, but that's the hard I choose. I would like to do that rather than sitting in an office or working for somebody because I don't like being told what to do. So this is my hard. So remember that when you're feeling stuck and looking around and all you see are huge mountaintops that seem insurmountable, it's supposed to be hard. And you just have to start somewhere. It's not about the right place. Even me, like my first YouTube video, I was like, I didn't realize you do like landscape versus like, you know, straight on. Oh, geez, okay. And it's like every single time we take a step forward and come to the base of a mountain and go, all right, how am I gonna climb you? Let's see. And you don't always do it right, and that's not what we came here for, so that's all right. It's just continuously taking those steps forward when it's time to do so. But right now I actually feel us kind of a couple miles away from those mountains, right? So imagine yourself approaching a mountain. You're 5 miles out, right? You're like getting your goggles on, or goggles. You're getting yourself prepared to you're strapping your shoes tighter, right? With your whoever's driving, and it's like, whoa, you still got your coffee to finish. You're not quite at that mountain yet. Enjoy the process as best you can. Sure, there's nerves and discomfort and fear of inability to climb that mountain, or what am I gonna come across or come up against when I'm there. But right now, let me just be on this ride. Let me be in this slow, heavy physical body that I find myself in now, and do know that when it's time to act, you'll get the indication from it. Like, that's a beautiful thing about being a conscious being, is that we know, right? We get that feeling like, I know I'm supposed to do these YouTubes. I know I'm supposed to do that Instagram live. I know, but just before my fiance left, I'm like, why am I doing this? This is so stupid. Like, I don't need to do this. Why am I doing this? And it's like, because I just have that feeling that I know this is the natural next step for me. It's like signing up for a dance class or going on a dating app, and you're like, why am I doing this? Because I know, I feel it in my gut. It's what I gotta do. All right, that being said, I'm like, whew, lots of energy. This is really cool to be doing this live. All right, so I'm gonna move up to the Headspace. So if you're following along with your hands somewhere in this general direction, you can do temples. Sometimes people like holding their ears or their cheeks. That's very comforting. And I keep my hands down low. I've been doing remote sessions, so I'm not, I don't hold people's heads right now, which I can't wait to be able to actually hold a third eye and all of that and see your beautiful faces. But for now, I just do it from a distance. So I actually keep my hands down low. So although I'm working on the head, my hands are in my lap, cradling that third eye space. So again, right, this is the front of the third eye, back of the third eye. You guys are getting a little Reiki lesson here. So whatever feels comfortable, you can put your hands, again, sometimes it's kind of cool. You can feel a little bit of energy. Sometimes it grows. Sometimes the head needs some space. All types of funky things can happen. So if any of that happens for you, leave a comment. I would love to hear, and cool for other people to see as well, your experience. All right. The Headspace, third eye. I've been dabbling in the crown chakra. You can even put your hand up here. I'm just working in the general space of the head. So I don't know about you, but I got the message in many different ways. Maybe it's being a woman. I don't know exactly what it is, but I got the message in some form or another. Don't stand out too much. And what I'm feeling in the Headspace is, well, my friend, you are different than any other person you know on the planet. You're just different. So no matter what way, I keep hearing the word slice. I said that before about the mountain. Anyway, whatever way you slice it, you're going to be different. So when someone is different, you stand out. Standing out too much, that can feel like really uncomfortable, but what I'm sensing is that we are growing out of the pattern of feeling like we need to keep things under wraps that make us different. It's really like, think about all the developments in our world, all the creations. Tesla's coming to mind, like some really, really cool stuff. And who are the kinds of people like Elon Musk that are inventing this kind of thing, right? Far out people. Definitely would be considered a little bit different, but fantastic. Maybe, you know, whatever, you don't like them, I don't really care, it doesn't really matter. I'm just pointing out that we're all very unique. So to continue to work under that belief structure that you shouldn't stand out, that you shouldn't wear a red dress to a wedding, that whatever it is, we're growing out of it. So you may feel a little bit more bold. You may feel more inspired to just say, fuck it. Like me, I'm just gonna go on Instagram Live. I mean, I've had Instagram for a long time. Why now? I'm sick of sitting with the gifts that I have, out of fear of being seen and being thought of as weird or different. I am. We're all weird and we're all different. And so we're being encouraged to embrace those different aspects of ourselves. And you may notice some resistance in your mind. Like today, I'm like, I could just cancel this. Like, why do I don't even need to do that live. I mean, what's even the point? Who cares? Who's gonna miss out? Why? So there is going to be some chatter going on, your brain saying, I'd rather just stay in the familiar. Let's not get stuff out of this comfort zone. What's the point? The point is to grow, to evolve, to show yourself what you're capable in digestible amounts. And don't take too much on too fast, but do that fine mix of uncomfortable but not too comfortable where you completely flop. So I'm feeling like I keep kind of clearing my throat, so that's energetically can be a little bit of a clogging in the throat space, the throat chakra where we express ourselves. So if you're following along with your hands, you can place it in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Sometimes in person sessions, I like hold it right here. Again, I have my hands down low and kind of like in this cupped position, imagining the energy going into this throat space. So the message here is there are things that you say that you don't like. There are things you talk about that you're sick of talking about, that you don't want to talk about anymore. It's like your boyfriend gifted you this necklace and you really don't like it, but you wear it because he bought it for you and he meant well, and you know, I just should. And it's like, let's be real here. You don't like the necklace. You don't want to wear the necklace. So why do you keep wearing the necklace? Why do you keep talking about that thing you don't want to talk about? Why do you keep engaging in those kind of chit-chatty drama conversations if that's just not your jam anymore? And why? That's a really hard question. You know, like I just said, why are you doing it? No, it's not important as to why. It's just identifying the different areas in which you do that you're sick of. And step one is being honest with yourself. Work on that aspect. And then it starts to translate outwardly. You feel more bold, more able, like, I just don't want to talk about this. This just doesn't feel good to me. Oh, well, it doesn't feel good. You know, whatever pushback, it's like you want to get to a certain point of comfort with yourself and telling yourself the truth. So start there. Identify something that you say, you talk about, you have believed in. It could be really anything. This could go really deep or it could be pretty surface. So you may have to search around, or maybe something came to mind and you're like, is that it? It's probably it. So making a commitment to yourself that I'm gonna work on this for 30 days, not talking about that thing. Or when I notice myself wanting to talk about someone behind their back, I'm gonna, maybe you say it out loud, maybe you're comfortable enough with that person, like, I really don't want to do this anymore. Or you just say to yourself, hey, Laura, you know that doesn't feel good and you're trying to not. Can we change this conversation? No, it's already really going between. Okay, then we can walk away. Or we can just be quiet and just notice. Be the observer of the situation. Notice how it feels when someone's talking behind someone's back or talking about something that just really doesn't resonate with you anymore. It's like a science experiment. Just take notice. All right. Moving into the heart chakra here. So whatever kind of hand placement feels good to you. You can have one here, you can do a little back action. If you're flexible, you can do a little bit of that. I usually just like one. It's totally up to you. Even if you're following along with your hands, and if you're not, I would suggest doing this anyway. All right, you heard me. Oh yeah, maybe you heard me a couple of times. Now take some deep breaths. It's really soothing. I know I've done that to dogs before, like when they're worried. I've done it to children. I've done it to my partner, like on the back side of his heart. I just will put my hand there. It's quite comforting. So notice how that feels to just gently hold your own heart. And the message I'm receiving here is that you have an unlimited capacity to love. So if there's a question, I don't know if I could love them anymore, there is more. Part of the reason you're not feeling willing to love more, to open up more, is for fear of it being taken away, for it not being reciprocated, for fear of it being a waste of time. I'm not going to say much more on that, just some things to chew on. But you have an unlimited well of love inside of you. Every single being does. Doesn't matter the bad acts they've done, what they say. There is an endless reservoir of love right here. And the more you cultivate it for yourself, the more you practice being kind and loving towards yourself, the easier it is to give to another. I know for me, it's always felt a lot easier to love other people more than myself. So if you have a child or a pet, or maybe a spouse, maybe a parent that you just love so deeply, the heart space is saying you have the capacity to love all beings that way. Not necessarily that you have to, just planting the seed for you that you have the capacity to do so. So I'm going to move down into the belly space here. So the solar plexus, the emotional center just between the rib cage, even, belly button, between belly button and rib cage area. It's just reminding us that emotions are complex and that to be a human is challenging, to have such deep emotions is challenging, and to not be hard on yourself about how complex you are and how intricate you are and how deeply you feel and how you're hurting, but rather to understand that's part of this game of being a human, and to continue to develop your connection to your emotions. And going back into the heart, to develop that connection with your own emotions allows you to have a deeper compassion for yourself. And deeper compassion for yourself translates to deeper compassion for all beings. So it's you first, and then the rest. And again, if you're following along, I take my hands, I kind of sweep the energy down each leg, each arm, kind of imagine rinsing it, dropping it down into the earth as if there's a hole in your floor, down to the center of the earth, releasing any of this energy. If you can reach your feet, if you have feet, just squeezing them a little bit, reminding yourself that, hey, I'm here in this body. Tread light this week. I feel the energy is quite intense, which it just has been since 2020. So having this awareness, if you've made it this far, about yourself and what you're going through on so many different levels, tread lightly. Don't take on too much more than you already have going on. Note what is in your power, what is not. Doing your best to give yourself the opportunity to accept what is. And from your toes all the way up to your head, I imagine you being wrapped in a golden blanket. I'm just sealing the energy now. I hope this week is pleasant for you. I hope you take good care of your physical body, really listening to what it needs. Drink more water. I feel parched right now, and I've been drinking a gallon a day, so that's pretty rare. So that's definitely the energy here. Drink more water. Don't forget to get outside and get some sunshine. And if you have any questions at all, I am always here. You can leave it in the comments. You can email me, whatever way feels best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And we'll talk to you next week.